Thank you guys for coming. I am like overwhelmed and so full of gratitude. Like, I got lucky on this island because I fell into like the most amazing school for my kids. I go to the best places to work out, get my butt kicked. But most of all, like, I'm just grateful for all of you guys showing up and celebrating this next chapter. So without further ado, I just wanted to I would highlight all of you if I could, if I had the time. But just 4 women that have been impactful recently and in the last kind of really launching this. And I want to welcome Jess, Steph, Mapuana, and Gaby. Dr. Gaby, I call her. Come on down. I want to just share a little bit how these amazing women have impacted my life, and not to mention like what they're doing on the island. So, all right, we'll start. You know what? We'll start with you since you have the mic.
Oh, what would you like me to say?
This is Steph. So I'm just gonna ask a couple of questions to these ladies, and the first one is, Steph also is a founder of Goal Getters Collab. It's an organization on the island. She makes your goals come to reality, like living right here, #real talk. So she's just, a lot of men and women are part of this group, mostly women, but open to men too. She's here to, you know what? I'm gonna pass it back to you. My nerves are kicking in. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got inspiration to reignite like goal getters, right? You got about 5 minutes. No, just joking.
Okay, I can be quick. I'm a concise speaker. I'm Stephanie. Hello, for those of you who I don't know. My very short story is I was in education for about 15 years in education management, and I just was always feeling like I was never truly able to give the full potential of what I knew I wanted to give or be of service of in a way. And it was that like little inkling that made me say, you know what, I'm just gonna explore and see what this is all about. So I left my job, and for a year I just said, I'm just gonna see what excites me and like where my energy is drawn. And I did things like TaskRabbit and built furniture for people, not the way my husband does though, different like IKEA furniture. And then I joined Oak and Pine, and I started meeting all these women, and that brought out what I knew I wanted to share, which ultimately became the Goal Getters Collab. And I'm a business coach, so I guide people through strategic planning and accountability. But it was really that point of like feeling there's something else for me, and like I can be of service here once I join that community. So that
amazing, yeah. And then the final for you would be, if you can give a little tip, someone sitting in that void of uncertainty, maybe they're leaving a career or coming to like a close of one chapter of their life and uncertain. Is there any like guidance that will help you, and maybe a little tip we can take away today?
Yeah, and this came to mind because you will hear about it on our podcast episode. The tip is to trust yourself, and that can mean so many things, but right at the beginning stages of that, I read this book called Big Idea. Wait, no. Shoot.
Was it Big Magic?
Big Magic. Big Magic. By Elizabeth Gilbert, which is all about like ideas come to us because they want someone to bring them to fruition. And so in that sense, that was my year of exploring and like really finding out what is like coming to me. So that would be my tip, to trust the visions or ideas that come to you and trust yourself to move forward with them.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Steph.
Yes.
If you want to pass the mic to Jess. Jess is amazing. She is, she was in the military. Now she is a coach and EFT tapping coach and life coach, and she's phenomenal. She tapped with me this morning, guys, because I was like, and you know what? Can you explain what tapping means? Because I could have been like, you know?
Yeah, it is absolutely not tap dancing. I don't dance or sing well. I do those things, not well. I'm also not concise, so you might need to rein me in a little bit. Thank you. So tapping stands for, or EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques Tapping, and it is a modality that involves tapping on energy meridians around your body, which are similar to points used in acupressure, acupuncture, and they're attached to the central nervous system. So when you tap on these points and you acknowledge the truth of how you might be thinking or feeling, because lots of times we pretend we don't feel the way we do or we don't think the way we do because there's might be a lot of shame involved there. But when we tap on these points while giving a voice to how we're really feeling and acknowledging that with an affirmation of acceptance of who we are and that we're a human being experiencing this emotion or experience, it allows us to kind of process and then release and then feel better. That is the pistachio in a nutshell version of that. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
And if you can give a little bit of a reignite, a little spark.
Yeah, I think, so I joined the military, I joined the Army when I was 32. So I am no stranger to making pivots. And I think you don't have to wait. A lot of people think they have to be in the dumps or have hit rock bottom to make a change in their life, and you don't have to. If you have a dream, if you have an idea that keeps coming to you, trust yourself, like Steph said, trust yourself and love yourself enough to go after that. Lots of times we get sucked into these narratives of who am I to deserve this, or I'm not worthy of this, but you are the only person that can make the decision about your worthiness or your deservingness. And if you don't make it for yourself, somebody else is going to make it for you. So acknowledge the fear. Fear is going to be there, but without fear, you can't have courage, you can't have bravery. So just remember, your courage is bigger than your fear.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, Jess. All right, let's pass it to Mapu.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, this woman is pretty amazing on this island. She and along with Vanny really ignited this, where I was I can't wait, I got to do this now. And really not just ignited it, every step of the way these women and a lot of you have been cheering me on, holding me, all the things, in the fear of the uncertainty of putting yourself out there. And oh my God, what are people gonna think? Social media, what the, all of these things, but they all encouraged me to do it anyways. And so I just wanna ask you, Mapu also has an amazing podcast, the Mapuana Reed Show, and celebrated her 1-year anniversary recently, right?
Yep.
And she did an amazing epic event at Turtle Bay, which I was privileged to be there. And can you share a little bit of your experience? This woman had a successful 6-figure business in photography, and she just went, meh. I'm gonna start a podcast, and I'm gonna leave that over here.
Yeah. I think for me, I did photography for 15 years, and I loved it so much. But after 15 years, I just felt okay, what's next? So I turned 50, and I think that's when a lot of things started to shift for me. I turned 50, and I was well, do I really want to still continue to do photography? I did it. It was my whole heart. It was my whole identity. It was everything I wanted, and I built it. And at the peak of it, I was okay, I think, I felt I gave everything to it, and I was able to say, thank you. I gave everything, and at the peak, I was I can now go do something else. And I was all right, I want to go do something else. And my husband was how much is podcasting gonna make? And I was thousands of $0. So he was well, we have kids, we have mortgage, so. But I just knew, I knew I already had the skill to be a photographer. I knew how to run a business. I knew how I had a team. I had all the things. I knew if I didn't try and go after what I wanted now at this moment, I probably never would. And so for me, I was I know what it is to be a photographer. I could go back if I wanted to. And so for me, I was that was everything. I was I could always go back, and so can you. And you only really have this one life to live, so why not just go after it? Yeah.
summed it up so beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah, go after it, right? Like YOLO.
Right? Yeah.
YOLO, baby. I'm from Toronto, so Drake. Okay, Kendrick fans, okay? I love Kendrick too. That like summed it up beautifully.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? If someone's sitting like right on the cusp and they're shaking and they're like, they know there's an idea that needs to be birthed. What was the last tipping point? What made it happen?
I think you need to ask yourself. I ask this like all the time, like, what if I? And just finish that sentence. So what if you went after it? Instead of like all those voices in your head telling you how you can't or all these things, ask yourself a different question and let it be, what if I started that business? What if I left this job? What if I pivoted, and just feel what that feels like. Yeah, ask yourself, what if I?
That's amazing. Yeah. Ask yourself, what if?
Yeah.
I once upon a time, it was 25 years ago, I wrote in a journal to live on Hawaii.
Right? Yeah.
And then I let my kid decide. Where do you want to live if you could live anywhere in the world? Disneyland. Okay, 2. Option 2. She picked it. We booked our ticket and we're here almost 2 years later.
Right? Yeah. See, it starts with what if I?
What if I?
lived in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mapu. And this beautiful woman is Dr. Gaby. She has like the biggest heart. She's like all soul. She is also a doctor of psychology. And we had the most amazing tears on our podcast episode. And she's literally a badass. She literally helped people in prison in Florida, like penitentiary. And that takes some courage. That takes some bravery. And early in her career, not like, seasoned veteran, like, oh, she chose to do that. It wasn't an accident. She's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do something hard on purpose. I'm going to go to Florida, move from this beautiful island, and go chit-chat with some inmates.
Why not?
So, Dr. Gaby, share with us a little bit.
Oh, okay. About me?
Yeah, share with us a little bit about your experience and what reignited you to be a
What
psychologist.
reignites me? So I'm a clinical psychologist. I've worked with a very wide variety of patients, from individuals who are incarcerated to children with autism, which is a very special place in my heart. Did that for 10 years. Created a small nonprofit helping kids access their community. And then we moved away to Oklahoma for a few years, where I did a lot of autism evaluation, work with Spanish-speaking individuals on getting assessments and therapeutic work and family work and helping kids with behavior challenges and things of that nature. Then my husband decided to get us stationed in Italy. Oh, it was such a sacrifice for me. So it was hard, but that required me to pivot because I could no longer do my same practice that I had. So way before virtual psychology was a thing, I was like, I can see patients online. I don't see why not. And all my fellow colleagues were like, it's not the same. No, you can't. I don't think so. And I was like, well, I'm going to try it and see what happens. And now COVID has happened, and all therapists, well, many of us therapists work virtually and actually prefer it, and so do our patients. So pivoting is sort of the nature of who I am. I tend to sample life. I'm a sampler. The other part of my life is I'm a mindfulness coach. Mindfulness is sort of the key to, I think, all well-being. And so I get reignited by creating safe spaces for people, any people, whether it's a child or a family or a sister or my own daughter and my own husband, creating safe spaces for them to see themselves and trust their next action for themselves. So that reignites me. Holding those containers, creating the hugging spaces, that's what gets me excited. And I can do that in a prison. I can do that one-on-one with a woman. I did it last night with our supper club here with a bunch of amazing entrepreneurs. So that's what reignites me. And as long as I'm doing that, life is good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You were. See, I told you she was awesome.
She's awesome.
If you can, give that little spark of, like I said, to all of the others.
Little tip.
Little tip.
Little tip is get grounded in the present moment. Right now even, you could all just close your eyes for a minute, sink into yourself, take a full breath, and then think of what really matters to you. What really matters to you deeply then open your eyes and say, what's the next loving action in my life to create that thing that matters to me, to support that thing that matters to me? And do it. Small, loving action. Repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. Yeah.
That's a beautiful ending. Beautiful way to finish this panel off. And thank you all for showing up. Like, I didn't give them much notice. I'm like, by the way, you, and you. And I kind of like, it's hard to choose when you have this many amazing people in a room. And you just got to make choices. You just got to make choices and run with it and like shake off all that doubt and all that extra noise in here and just live and be proud of yourself. So I'm honored to be having these women up here celebrating with me. Thank you. And now it's time to eat and have a little more pate. Thank you.